Chris Jovanovich with Indiana Yoga Studio, coming to you today with the beautiful pose of Supta Konasana, or the bound angle pose in a reclined position. There's a lot of different ways that we can support ourselves in the Supta Konasana, and I'd like to invite you to join me to go about looking at ways to cue other students and to feel out yourself how to get in and out of this pose both safely and effectively. So we're going to start off by having a strap close by. I like to use a strap. There are a lot of teachers who may not have a strap close by, and it's fine if you don't have a strap. I'm going to start off with the most supported version of this asana. So I'm going to just bring a bolster here. I'm going to get an extra block or two. So usually 3 blocks are really required for extra support. And I'm going to place a block, maybe even 2 or 3 blocks underneath the head of this bolster to allow it to be in more of a reclined position. Because when I start to lie back over this and my lower back is super tight, I'm not going to be able to hang out there for very long without discomfort. So even if they need 2 or 3 blocks underneath the head of their bolster, that's totally cool. So from here, I'll begin to let the students know to sit their sitting bones right in front of their bolster and place the soles of their feet together, but not drawing the heels in closely quite yet. Because I'll show you how you can bind using a strap by having them place the strap around their waist and kind of make it equal length and place it over their thighs and over their ankles. We're going to take one end of the strap and place it underneath the outer edges of the arches of the feet. And then we're going to take the short end and place it, or the blunt end, and place it in between both buckles. We're going to cinch it tight, and we're going to tighten it to where the buckle isn't right on my body, but in between my ankle and my thigh. And this is where I'm going to start scooting things in a little bit closer and rocking left and right, making sure I'm nice and equal on my sitting bones. Another trick you can do in the Anusara tradition, they always talk about loops and spirals. And this is one where you can grab your right thigh, rotate it inward and downward, and do the same on the left thigh. And this will allow the spine to lift a little bit more. The pubic bone goes down a little bit more towards the earth. And then once we've placed that strap in between both buckles, we're just going to go back through one buckle to cinch it up and make it tight. Now, for me personally, I prefer to have a blanket on when I do this, because not only does the warmth of the blanket help my muscles to relax a little bit more, but for some reason I feel more safe. So you might want to always keep that in mind for your students as well. These blocks can be used to place underneath the knees if your students' knees are up here and they just don't feel comfortable just hanging out. You're more than welcome to slide a block underneath each knee, and that's really helpful for that sense of comfort. So the main thing that you'll want to focus on is for the students to place their palms behind their hips. Inhale, extend the spine, and then exhale, slowly come down one elbow at a time. They'll feel their bolster move back a little bit, and that's okay. But once they come all the way back, this is where you can invite them to close the eyes. Palms are in a receiving position, either under the blanket or above. And this is where you can just allow them to come back to their breath. Allow them to come back to their breath. Maybe have them go through a 3 or 4 part pranayama. Maybe do a little guided meditation. Or maybe just let them focus on their mantra. When first starting out in this pose, I'll usually have the students start out no more than a minute. A minute's usually pretty good for most people just starting out. But this is one of those beautiful poses that could be held up for up to 20 minutes in a yin class, for example. So I'm going to pretend that, my blanket's still on, but to show you with these, when I begin to cue people to come out of this, I'll invite them to place their hands on either end of their strap. And then on an inhale, pull on the strap, use their core strength to lift. And that's usually adequate. You might have to walk around the room and make sure that they have that strength to get up. And if not, just lend a hand on their back and help them up as a teacher. And then you can just let them know to nice and gently and slowly and mindfully come out of this. Going in and out of the poses is so important, because once you gain that energetic effect of a particular asana, if you come into it too quickly, you're going to lose that effect. Or if you come out of it too quickly, you can not only lose the effect, but injure yourself. So I'm going to place things to the side, kind of scoot that back. I'm going to place my hands on my knees and then gently draw the knees up. Place the feet hips distance width apart. Maybe come down onto the elbows and windshield wiper those knees from side to side. And this can be that counter pose, that Patrikriyasana, to bring that balance back into the system. So the reclined cow face pose can really be effective for, so many of the chakras. It can allow you to gain more confidence as you're just kind of opening yourself up, relaxing the belly, getting into that Manipura chakra, that energy wheel that governs your sense of power and self-worth. And it's also very good for the lymphatic system, the muscles that are closer to the bone if you're holding it for quite a while. This is an excellent pose to do if you have any illness such as rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia, or anything that the fascia that contains the muscles, where they get rigid and gain too much lactic acid. This sort of forces that to relax. And what's really important is to keep the body soft. So it's really difficult to find that sthiram sukham, that steadiness and comfort, if you're feeling pain. And if you are, you'll want to find that modification and support your practice however you need to. There's that Goldilocks effect, right? You're going to feel a nice gentle opening, but you shouldn't feel pain. If you feel pain too much, then you'll want to back up off your effort and try something more restorative. I hope this was helpful for you today. I've enjoyed sharing this beautiful asana with you, the Supta Baddha Konasana. I hope that you can get a lot out of it. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave any comments below. Please like and subscribe our channel, and thank you so much for joining me again. Namaste.